So in total, we did 8 rounds of IVF. I'm happy to say that I've now had it removed, which was a good decision. But we did 7 rounds of surrogacy. Well, it's 2020 now, and we met in 2012. We both live in London, we're both Londoners, and it was the London Olympics. And it was an amazing time of year. It was such an exciting time for our city, and we went to a house party. I was at a house party upstairs in a block of flats, and there was a house party going on downstairs, and my party decided to go downstairs to see the other party downstairs.
The cooler party.
And when I walked into the party, I just walked straight in and I looked right and I saw Rob. And the moment I saw him, I knew he was the man for me. And that was that. And I made it happen.
Yeah, and so that was 8 years ago.
That was 8 years ago.
It's
actually our anniversary today, so it's 8 years ago today.
Today, all right, yes,
yeah.
It is. Well, we got married in 2014.
Yeah.
And it was probably...
It was straight after.
The decision to get married meant to us the decision to have children.
Yeah, you see the real life having children. Anyway, they'll calm down, hopefully. But yeah, I think once our relationship became more of a serious relationship, we started talking about children then, but we knew we wanted to get married first and then have children. So yeah, it was something we wanted. And when we got married, we started trying straight away. So that was 6 years ago.
Yes.
6 years, 6 long years. And we...
What haven't we tried?
Yeah, what haven't we tried? I had, unfortunately, an ectopic. I got pregnant on our honeymoon, and at 8 weeks, they said it was a miscarriage. But then at 9 weeks, I was rushed to hospital and I nearly died because I had an ectopic pregnancy. So I had to have that removed at 9 weeks, which was traumatic. And then we decided to try IVF because obviously the chances of getting pregnant with only one fallopian tube is less. So we did our first round of IVF and it didn't work. And then our second round, I had another ectopic pregnancy. So I had to have the other fallopian tube removed, and by then there was just no chance to have children naturally. It was only IVF. So in total, we did 8 rounds of IVF, and then I've had about 5 or 6 operations on my uterus. Basically, that's the problem. I have a problem with my uterus, and I'm happy to say that I've now had it removed, which was a good decision. But we did 7 rounds of surrogacy.
Everything was tough. Everything was difficult. It was a very sad time. Celia had to have lots of hormones and injections.
The hormones, as anyone who's watching this who's done IVF know, make you crazy and exhausted, and
you've got to get time off work. And that's frustrating. You've got to travel places.
Yeah. But for us, I mean, the hardest thing was we lost twins, so we had lots of miscarriages. But we lost twins quite late in the pregnancy, twin boys, and our sons Spike and Nico were born, and Spike lived 4 hours and Nico lived for 4 days. So that was 2 years ago, and that was the hardest thing imaginable, I think. So it's been quite a uniquely difficult journey for us for so many reasons.
Toughest thing we've ever done.
Yeah, but they say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger, and I think we've definitely become stronger. Yeah. I'm laughing because we're saying that, and now our babies are 3 weeks old today, and we're suddenly like, wait, what doesn't kill you make you stronger? Let's hope that this gets easier then. Yes. Well, we love them though, of course. Well, did we find out before Christmas? Before Christmas 2019?
I thought it was, yes, I think so.
Yes, so obviously we've had, 8 rounds of IVF, 7 rounds of surrogacy. You become very jaded, And it's difficult to think, oh, well, this will work out. There are people who get pregnant and they do their pregnancy tests and they say, we're going to have a baby. But when we get positive tests, we're like, okay, let's just take it day by day. So, but getting the news was just amazing.
Well, yeah, for me, we've received so many negatives, and I said to Celia, don't call me at work if it's bad news. You know, I just can't handle that. But I was just typing away at my desk doing some work, and Celia's on the phone. So I rushed to a meeting room, and she's just like, it's good news, and it was good news. The HCG levels quite
so
high.
The hormone levels of the surrogate were really high, which was a very positive sign. And I thought, God, could it be triplets? We're screwed. And then we found out not long after that it was twins, and I mean, it felt like the universe has wanted us to have twins, because truthfully, this is our third set of twins. We also had identical twins that we lost at 8 and 13 weeks gestation. So, yeah, it's obviously meant for us, yes. And yeah, was the best news ever. And then this pregnancy was the easiest pregnancy ever. I mean, obviously for us, but for our surrogate as well. She was healthy all the time, and the babies did really well in all the scans. And every scan that came along, we were just terrified that it was going to be bad news after all the terrible stuff that we'd gone through. But it was always okay, and like just. And even the birth, our surrogate went into labour at 6-something a.m. and the babies were born 3 hours later, vaginally. It wasn't even like she had to have a cesarean, which we were really pleased for her. So, yeah, it was amazing.
So the pregnancy went very well, but our nerves went terribly.
It was emotional. It was like, it's lots of meditation, basically, to try and stay sane, because it's full on. Amazing. We emailed the clinic, I think at about 18, or was it about 20 weeks? No, it wasn't. It was at 24 weeks, because that's the stage in our pregnancy that our twin sons were born. And we just wouldn't allow ourselves to believe it was going to happen until that point. So at 24 weeks, when everything was good, in that scan, we emailed the clinic and with a message for our surrogate. And then we started, the surrogate and us started messaging one another on Viber. And
it was quite funny that she would translate into English for us, and we'd go onto Google Translate and
Ukrainian for her.
Translate into Ukrainian for
her.
And
some things are lost in translation, but
it worked, and it was nice. And the surrogate was, you know, what she was saying, it was amazing. So
reassuring, and she was so calm. It was her second time doing the programme.
She talked of all the good food she's eating. And
she really took care of herself. She was just, I mean, we couldn't have been luckier. She was an amazing surrogate, and now we consider her a friend, really. And we're, you know, happy for our kids to have her in their lives forever, and for us to have her in our lives. And we said when the children are 16 or 18, we'll come back to the Ukraine so we can spend time with her, and the kids can get to know her, and that's an important part of their journey. So yeah, it was. The communication was, we didn't allow ourselves to communicate up until, as I said, that point, but then when we did, it was just wonderful, and she was just so reassuring all the time, and yeah, we just love her to pieces.
Yeah, and we've since met her afterwards.
Yeah.
And that was lovely.
Oh, it's really emotional. I just cried the whole time. You dream of your whole life, really. Like, I always wanted to be a mum. I've always wanted to have children. But obviously after our harrowing journey, I think for us, we didn't dare go there emotionally, because it was too frightening if it didn't work out. You just can't get your hopes up. But then when we got further through the pregnancy, this pregnancy, we started to think, oh my gosh, this could happen. And yeah, we kept on talking about it. Imagine the day, and we'd seen other videos of couples being given their children outside the maternity hospital and like cried watching those. So it was amazing. I thought I would just cry my eyes out, and I thought I would just fall over. I wouldn't be able to stand up because it would be so emotional. But I was really emotional, and I cried, obviously. But when they're put in your arms, like, for me, you have to say how you feel, but for me, I just was, they looked like their skin was so perfect, like little furry peaches. And I just thought, they're so perfect. And I just fell in love immediately. And then, like, I just felt happy, and I couldn't cry anymore. I was just like, but it did feel bizarre and surreal. And I think it's only now starting to feel real. we had a lot of support. A lot of people don't share their journey with their family and friends, and that's a personal choice, that's fine, but we were very open about everything that we've been through, and we, you know, as we got further through this pregnancy and told more people, because we didn't share it initially because we'd had so many setbacks and it was too painful to kind of go through that with other people, then yeah, it felt like we had this army of cheerleaders towards the end who were like, come on, come on. And so on the day that we found out our babies were born, you know, it's like London had a party. Everyone we knew just like was so happy, and they're so excited for us to come home so that they can meet the babies.
Yeah,
you know?
you totally felt that everyone was rooting for us.
Oh, completely.
So I felt relieved for them.
Yeah, and these are my parents, their only grandchildren. So Rob, I mean, not that it makes a difference. Rob's parents have grandchildren, but they're just as excited, obviously. But I mean, I feel like it's such an exciting time for my parents to experience their first grandchildren as well. So yeah, we can't wait to get them back to London and make someone else hold them for a little bit. I mean, we just feel, there were times during this journey, obviously 7 attempts, and I remember we had conversations where we said they're gonna call us and they're gonna say, hey, you know, it's not gonna work for you, forget it, it's not gonna happen. And there were often times, and I remember we emailed a couple of times and said, are you gonna keep going? And they were like, yeah, of course we're gonna keep going.
So that was great.
Yeah, and obviously we went through some very difficult times at the clinic, and we had a lot of support and compassion and kindness, which was lovely. I mean, obviously it's difficult because it's a very busy clinic and there are a lot of couples trying to have children. So sometimes the communication is not quick, and you don't get the response straight away because you're emotionally feeling it and you want to know straight away what's happening. But I think towards the end of the pregnancy, we were getting like responses the next minute, and you know, now that the babies are born, we get such a lot of support from the clinic, and they've been fantastic. And as well with the paperwork, I was extremely anxious that we were going to spend ages waiting to get the paperwork, but they've been so efficient. And actually, the UK Passport Office knows that their Biotexcom is really renowned in the UK in the Passport Office for really efficiency with the paperwork. So. Yes. What do you have anything to say? What are your impressions?
Yeah, really good impressions. The taxis are always there. The accommodation's always very nice.
Our apartment's lovely.
The staff who work
are really lovely.
The sporting staff are great. Everything is catered for, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
Food, you know, things you expect to get yourself, but
I mean, now that the twins are born, we can take them every day if we want to the doctor who's just the next block along, and our doctor, she checks their weight and checks their health, and that's been a huge peace of mind. And I don't think that's something that's not what we would get in the UK at all.
No.
So that's hugely, you know, helpful. What's difficult is the language barrier.
Yes, that's tough.
It's totally different English.
With the alphabet not even being in...
I've learned the alphabet, so I can read some stuff, but it's tiring because, you know, you want to talk to people, and we're on Google Translate a lot, so that's really difficult. And I think the food has been difficult. Obviously, anywhere you come, you miss your home cooking, and we miss our home food, and but
Kiev
is awesome.
Is fantastic. We think it's a little version of London.
It's cool.
Version. It's got a bit
I think
greenery.
It's a bit like New York as well in many ways, like the kind of look, the buildings and stuff, and you can see. Anyway, that's just my opinion.
As we've tried 7 times, we've done the tour. We've done the tourist stuff. We've enjoyed Motherland and the tombs.
Yeah, the Lavra.
Yeah,
we've done a lot of the touristy things, and there's some fantastic restaurants in Kiev. Like we've eaten a lot.
Just a final thank you, Biotexcom.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, words can't really express how grateful we are, and to our surrogate, you know,
she's amazing.
Like no cards, no gifts, nothing will really be able to express. And I think we still can't really understand the magnitude of what's happened, and we're just so happy. And they're so, I mean, obviously we think they are, but they're so perfect, and they're so adorable, and they're such good babies.
What a story we have to tell them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's another thing. We plan to be very open with them about everything that we've gone through. And yeah, we're going to have to go, because I think it's important from our point of view, not for everyone, but you know, that this is a big journey that we went through. And you know, when they're teenagers, they can't say you never wanted me. Oh, we did, and we'll show you the bank balance to prove it.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's all we have to say.
Yep.
High five. Help her.
Oh, look at them.